never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you neither wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice.
We didn't really talk. We haven't really talked about this in any of our world building episodes, but and it's interesting. But like, geographic determinism. Like, there's a certain, you live in a mountainous region and your people have access to a lot of metals or precious metals, or you live in a farming, a rich farmlands, and it's a wealthy, peaceful people. I mean, I don't go in for this stuff, and Matt and I are both historians and have both read a lot about this, and geographic determinism is very much over-determined, but it's, for example, like, I don't know, Britain and Japan are both isolated islands in, off the coast of a larger landmass, and I would say that, yes, they have very much in common, but they also have an awful lot that's not in common. So I would say don't lean too hard on this, but Matt's right that it makes sense, right? Like, if you want to lean into some stereotypes when you're drawing up your world, you can say, yes, this geography influenced this people in a certain way, and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So Greenwood says, a lively situation for adventuring, and two countries in particular seem ideal sites for parties of adventurers. Geldorn, with a government whose reach and attention is turned outward and not into the wild, monster-populated interior, and with gems to be found which lure adventurers, merchants, and even official agents from all countries, and Emersea, a land of small villages or dales lightly governed by merchant lords, of necessity so as not to discourage trade. Government and law enforcement in Emersea will be light. Emersea's terrain of small...
It's always, just a reminder, if you're building a pseudo-Renaissance medieval fantasy world, all law enforcement will be light.
Yes. Law enforcement is spotty and inconsistent at best at all times.
Yes. Even today. And remember, law enfortement, 150 years old, maybe, if you're generous.
Mm-hmm. That does not mean that laws or justice do not exist. However, official... law enforcement apparatus do not overestimate the prevalence of this in any time period, especially not a medieval or Renaissance time period.
I mean, this is all our fault when we're like not sure who to have, what kind of NPC to approach the player characters. Oh, it's your stereotypical Irish cop. Oh, what you lads be doing here? Best be moving it along.
Actually, we should do an episode on this, but like, I guess
on stereotypes of the Irish, Rob, I'm gonna have to say
yes, no. But that'll be a bonus. No, on law enforcement, because I mean, I think it's because we're Americans, but like, my players are always asking, I don't know, is there a city watchman or a guard or whoever that I can talk to or that I have to worry about? And the answer is always yes, because of course there is. But what if?
If there wasn't?
What if we abolish the police in our games? What if we kill the cops in our heads? I mean, but
it's really hard when we're Americans, and like, basically from my place of work to like everywhere I go, I see an LEO with a magic wand that can basically end anyone's life within 100 yards. So it's hard to get out of your head.
And that's the point, is that like, we assume, again, we Americans especially assume the prevalence of law enforcement officers at all places and all times, but that is actually not the case. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Skipping ahead a bit, technology, religion, and accepted authority, laws, customs, and tradition will provide much of the impetus, directions, and limitations on adventure for the players. The DM must take care with the development of these things and concepts. The restrictive tenets of religion, for example, can affect trade. If Geldorn embraces the Druidic faith, it will not be the scene of legal logging operations, nor will its borders likely be open to those carrying lumber or caged wild animals being transported over land or sea.
You can have some logging. It's part of good forestry management.
Well, and I agree.
Okay.
Greenwood is not, there's very responsible ways to cut down trees, but that's okay. We get it. This brings up, people get down on the paladin, rightly so, but the truth is the dumbest OG class is the druid. Far and away the druid. The druid's restrictions on like what
alignment they could be, what they believed, what items they could use and spells they could cast was dumb as shit. Just absolute, like, incomprehensible from any sort. Like, true neutral, what the shit is that? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Sorry.
I'm gonna set up my coffee and my folding table like that meme of the right-wing guy whose name I don't know. Crowder, and be like, prove me wrong. The druid should be separated into two classes. There should be a shapeshifter class and a nature spell
and a nature
class.
Sage class. I agree.
It's hard to marry those two. It's okay though.
It's fine. It's fine.
I like druids.
Much of the activity of the campaign will come from the ongoing struggles between various power groups. For example, the G&D series AD&D modules put out by TSR Games depict a world of various groups: Ogre Magi, the Hill Giants, Frost Giants, Fire Giants, Kuatua, Illithids, Lolth-worshipping and elemental god-worshipping Drow nobles, all cooperating to a degree, and at the same time vying for supremacy. A party will unavoidably make allies and enemies such as they take action in the midst of such conflict, and members of the party may even join opposing groups and find themselves directly involved.
This is a really solid advice in that, what is more interesting than a big bad villainous organization is one with factions, right? That's why they're evil. Is they have they're looking out for number one.